How long does it take for that to develop into their own little groove within the team groove?
Yeah, it's a good question, Robert, because I think it's real and I think it takes a little bit of time. And, we also put in Ratio Fantasia into our group this year. We get Connor back from injury. Our forward half is probably hasn't played that much footy together. All I do know is that give us 14 weeks and we'll be better in our forward half than we are currently today. And I think that's a really important thing for us to remember is that our best is yet to come and we expect it to come. And, we're going to keep working at it.
Over to you, Goody. The same sort of question. I mean, you're doing a lot right, but the forward line, you've got to make that sort of groove together as well. You got Ben Brown, you got Wiedemann to come on the weekend was okay. Tom McDonald's probably in All-Australian form. How do you work out what is the best groove at this stage of the season?
Just keep picking the guys that you think are going to operate the best and then build that cohesion. I think it does take time, and I think as a forward line we're still finding our way, what our best mix is, what our best mix of tools is, and the emergence of Tom McDonald's been a real bonus for us. He's played some outstanding footy, but that cohesion does take time. We saw it in our back half with Lever and May when they first come to our club, the amount of time it took for those guys to work well together, and that'll be no different in our forward half. It does take time and it takes games and it takes a connection.
I want to talk future for a second. You know that every football club who needs a key forward, which is about 12, are going to be looking at Sam Wiedemann. When is he contracted? Are you confident that Sam is invested enough in the club and patient enough to wait his time? Do you think, or you are confident that he'll be at the club next year?
Incredibly confident that Sam will be at our footy club. I think he knows himself, he's a core ingredient to our football club, and he also knows that his pre-season was outstanding. He got injured at the wrong time. He missed 8 weeks. He did his rehab, and when he came back in, the team was functioning to a really high level, and there were guys in his position that were playing to a high level, and he's had to wait his time. So he's ready to play some really good AFL footy. He's very mature conversations that we've had with Sam, and I'm very confident he'll be at our footy club.
Hang on, I like incredibly confident. When we ask coaches, they say, no, we're pretty confident. You're incredibly confident.
You can put whatever temper you want on it, Robert. I know Sam, I know the maturity of him, I know what he wants to achieve in his footy, and I know that the Melbourne Footy Club is a good place for him to be.
Are you missing a certain spark, Kenny? Are you missing a certain spark called Zach Butters?
We miss we miss a bit of Zach. There's no doubt about that. He's a really, really talented young player, but he's very young. Xavier Dersman's another one of those young players. I think on the weekend we had 4 ingredients of our midfield missing a bit, and that was Dersma, Butters, Houston and Lysette, who are all pretty important to us against probably nearly the best midfield, I'd say, in the competition. So, we miss a bit of all those boys on the weekend, but you have to deal with what you have to deal with, and every side at the moment, realistically, are dealing with a lot of injuries, and we are one of them.
Righto. And then on the field, though, you spoke before about, there's a couple of areas you have to improve. What are some areas at your club that you're not worried about, but need a little bit of fixing, Kenny?
I think the information we get, Robbo, is clear, and that is around the contested ball at times. Whether everyone says contested ball, we always straight away think midfield, but the contested ball in the forward half, the contested ball in our back half, I think they're all real for us, and being able to win or halve enough of those contests is really important for us. And at the moment, we've probably been a little bit off. We've either been win or loss. I think somewhere in the middle is also okay in a half, and I think that's really important for us as a footy team, the way we like to play.
Tom McDonald's been a hell of a good story this year, Simon. It's getting retold week on week now, and the all-meat diet and the like, and what he's been able to do. Do you admire having spent a summer of uncertainty for him and maybe feeling a little bit unloved and unwanted, do you admire what he's been able to do?
I'm incredibly proud of Tom, and it probably started in the hub. His form in the last 6 weeks in the hub was, really below average, and he came into his exit interview at the end of last season really clear on what he wanted to achieve in his off-season. We had some really frank discussions about what that would look like and whether that was at another club or at Melbourne, but he went away, he lost 5 kilos, he got himself super fit, he got a personal trainer to work on his agility, and his summer has just been outstanding, and he came back to Melbourne with a clean slate, and he's just been brilliant in the way he's played. He's actually got some really good leadership qualities, and he's moving as well as I've ever seen him. So incredibly proud of Tom and what he's doing, and hopefully he keeps it going.
You were training him, I think, to play him on a wing this year, and as we sit here about round 10, he's probably one of the All-Australian forwards. But so you can talk about his resilience and his mental commitment, but his ability to play the game at different levels and different positions is quite remarkable.
Yeah, I think, when we had Ben Brown and Sam Wiedemann earmarked for our forward line, Tom wanted to try a new position and we thought wing would be a good opportunity for him, but then those two boys got injured through the summer, so Tom was throwing the challenge of becoming a key forward for us again and a dominant key forward, and he's been in great form for us, so he's been really hard to move.
Charlie Dixon, Kenny, it was probably midway through last season, he was putting up contested mark numbers that we hadn't seen for the best part of a decade. How's his first 9 weeks been by his standards?
Oh, look, I think they're pretty similar to ourselves as a team. I think Charlie's a really important piece. Everyone knows that about us with our forward line mix. And you talked before about the importance of not going to him too much. So he's learning to deal with a little bit of that. We're learning to do it a little bit differently with that. But he's competing really fiercely every week. He takes 2 or 3 opponents every week, and that's really important for the other people around him to get some success as well. So yeah, he's not in his absolute best form. We get that, and he gets that. But he's building towards that, we hope, and we think as a collective, if he can build towards that and other parts can come together at the same time. As I said before, we believe we've got genuine improvement in lots of parts of our game.
How far away is Butters? I must, if you said it before, I didn't hear. How far away is he?
No, look, Zach's got a few challenges with his injury at the moment, and we're still not real clear on exactly when that'll be. Look, he had exactly the same injury as Lockie Jones. Lockie had his a week later. Lockie will be back and playing this week, and Zach's still quite a way off playing at this stage. So there's still a fair bit of water to go under the bridge with Zach. But yeah, we'll do everything we can to get him back. But really importantly, he's a 10-year player, so we've got to do everything right for him for the future as well as for the now.
Is Jack Viney making a run to play this week?
Yeah, look, he's got to get through some training this week. We're hopeful, but we certainly take a cautious approach with him too. So if it's not this week, it'll definitely be the week after.
And Collingwood, Kenny, that's the imminent challenge. So there's a little bit of shared history here over the past few weeks. Does that filter through into the locker room, do you reckon?
Please explain, Jared.
Prison bars?
It's really not a topic. Our topic on prison bars is around heritage in South Australia. It's nothing to do with playing Collingwood in Melbourne. We understand that. We've got a great history, and we're proud of our current stuff as well. But our history and our heritage is something that we look to protect against a state team in Adelaide. We look forward to the opportunity of being able to wear the prison bars in that game alone.